Yes, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Dose podcast. And today we have yet another special guest. This guy's been around in the scene for a very long time, plays a huge part in what was ECCM Battle League, which is now No Coast New England. Bill Blaze, how's it going, man?
What's good, fam? Appreciate you having me on here. Glad to take the time out. Really enjoy what you've been doing with the podcast, so keep that up. Salute for all the hard work and giving us entertainment during this crazy time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I mean, with recent announcements, there's some exciting things on the card, but you guys are turning into a new No Coast division. How did that come about?
So pretty much how it came about was when I started getting into the scene. God, it's been like 7 years ago now. It was through No Coast. We had a lot of mutual friends through Facebook groups, stuff like that. And I started working with the North Division head, Breakneck, around that time. And I actually made my battle debut on No Coast in 2016. So that was the first place I battled. I did my first 3 battles out there. I battled in Chicago, Minnesota, and St. Louis out there. Wasn't really a ton going on in Mass at the time. We had one big league 413 out here, and that was about it. And being really familiar with them guys and good friends through Facebook, decided to start battling out there. So the relationship has been there for 6-7 years plus. So, and when I started ECCM, we really wanted it to be kind of like an unaffiliated division of No Coast, because we run things very similarly. We like to have our events kind of run the same way, do different types of battles than most normal leagues, you could say, would do. So it was always just a natural fit. So we decided now was the time to take advantage and get it done, especially with the big UK division announcement. It just felt like the timing was right.
Of course, man, and it's a big move. I think with one of the reasons that I'm such a big fan of No Coast and then became a fan of ECCM too was like just the community feel of the events, man. Like everybody, you have like a proper core fan base that come to every event. Everybody's there to have fun, and it comes off on camera, man. It looks great, and I think it definitely fits the narrative of No Coast really well. So that was good to see. But like in terms of yourself, then, how was it that you got into battle rap personally?
Me personally, I was into battle rap back in the DVD days, downloading them off of like LimeWire, Rich Dollars, battle days, So I was always into the scene, kind of left it for a little bit, and then really once the Facebook groups started popping off, that was really when I got back into it again and met a lot of the people I know. And so probably around 2014, 2015 was when I really, really got back into it. I was one of those guys. We used to battle at house parties back in the day when we were 15, 16 years old, freestyle battles. Whenever you heard someone locally was a rapper, it was like, all right, let's get it. Let's see who's the better rapper. And really the transition to the on-camera stuff has been amazing. It's been
No, I
amazing.
can imagine, man. Yeah, that's so cool. And yeah, I think the back in those days, battle rap wasn't particularly accessible over here in the UK, so it was quite difficult to come across it. But I guess it's just a huge part of the culture and stuff over there, man. Like you hear about people, like you said, just doing kind of freestyle battles or whatever at parties and things like that. But it must have been a fun time back then as well.
Oh yeah, a lot of on beat stuff when you were at parties. Everyone had an instrumental tape in the CD. Throw the cassette on, get it popping with whoever said they could rap, have fun, have a good time, and that's really how a lot of us got started, I feel like.
No, definitely, man. But for yourself, like, what was the first event that you ever went to? Then, were you attending events as a fan first, or did you
Yeah,
just?
I had been to a couple of 413 Battle League events before I decided to battle. And I think I went to 2 or 3 of those, and those were the first Battle League events I ever went to. They're about 2.5 hours from me, so it wasn't anything super local for us at that point. But now there's probably 3 or 4 leagues within an hour drive. So it really expanded over the past few years. But 413 Battle League was the first event I went to. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I've been to a few of them now, but that was definitely the first one.
Nice. No, I like that, man. And I'm a fan of 413 and what they do as well. So I can imagine their events are similar, just a lot of fun and a good environment to be in.
Oh, back then, being the only league around, they were having 200, 250 people easily for smaller cards. It was insane.
Yeah.
Insane. And then they started bringing in the bigger talents, and they had Big T come. Daylight has been there. They've had a lot of big talent come through there. So seeing like the growth of it has been awesome.
I can imagine, man. Definitely. And yeah, I'm hoping to get some guys from 413 on the show soon as well. They're another league that I think might be a little bit kind of slept on over here in the UK. So it'd be good to kind of get some more people aware of who they are and what they do. But for you then, Bill, so your first battle was against Wojak, is that correct? I never know how to say his name.
Yeah, Wojak, that's correct. Yeah. Shout out
And
Wojak. He's a huge supporter of what we do. Works behind the scenes with us and all the other divisions in No Coast. Really, really good supporter of the scene. Shout out him. He's a great dude.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a fun battle, man. Like I enjoyed it a lot. If I'm honest, I'd not seen it until we locked this interview in. The first battle of yours that I actually saw was on No Coast against Chinchilla. Is that right?
Yep. Chinchilla. Yep. That was in Minnesota.
And then it's kind of been going back through the earlier battles from that stage onwards. But how did the Wojak battle come about then? Had you been going to No Coast events at this point and just wanted to get involved?
No, that was actually the first No Coast event I've ever been to. Okay. That one was in Chicago. So to get out there, it's always a plane trip. But we were both in a Facebook group called Cat Mob, which was basically, it started off as like a Carter Deems fan club.
Right, okay.
And like a lot of random different people from all over the world joined in. And at that point, we were just, having fun in the Facebook groups. And we did a video battle tournament where a few of us put some money together, and there was a $300 prize for the winner. And a lot of the No Coast guys were in it. And we were going to set it up where I was just going to battle him on video and have fun. And then we found out that our mutual friend Jay Walker was going to be the main event against No Shame. And that was like his biggest battle of his career up to date. So I told him, like, I'm going to go and support him. That's a huge look for him. At the time, it was, No Shame was really a huge name in that part of the scene. So it was a, fantastic look for him. So we both said we were going to go there and support. And Breakneck, who set up most of the cards, just said, hey, if you guys are going to be there, why don't we just do the battle like this? We both kind of agreed, said fuck it, and went and did it. It was very, very much on a whim.
Nice, man. No, that's cool. And like I said, with yourself, the first battle that I saw of yours was the Chinchilla battle, which, if I'm honest,
that was a rough one.
Yeah, it was. It was a crazy few days from what I've heard, but
oh yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, I've to be honest, that was the around the time that I got properly into No Coast and what they were doing. Like I'd seen the odd battle before that, like the T-Rex versus G Soldier battle, and all the big ones that they'd done previously, but I'd never really followed them closely as a league. But obviously a few of the UK King of the Ronalds guys came over for that event, so it got me more into what they were doing. But you mentioned that you shared an Airbnb with Mackenzie, Mickey, Bowski, and Canal. Is that right?
So Mickey and Bowski actually stayed with Breakneck at his house, who lived out in Minnesota. It was me, Mackenzie, Canal, Lush One, Jay Walker, and I think Real Deal was there too. So we figured instead of getting a hotel or a couple hotel rooms, why don't we look into an Airbnb, much cheaper. We could all stay there. So yeah, that was most of our, we obviously just met Mackenzie and Cannell there for the first time. But that was one of the funniest moments in my life, is the 5 or 6 of us walking into a house to meet the people who own the house. And I'm like, just let me do the talk and I'll figure out what I'm going to say, come up with the story. And all of a sudden she's like, who are you? And Cannell's like, oh, I'm Cannell. And then Mackenzie starts talking. She's like, all you guys have different accents. It's something very strange going on. Everyone kind of looked at each other. I'm like, yeah, our friend, he's getting married. So we're all here. We're going to a basketball game this night and a concert this night. So we figured we might as well just get a house to stay at. And yeah, it was a crazy, crazy weekend, to say the least.
I can imagine, man. And I think there's an interview that I watched with Cannell, Mickey, and Mackenzie on Kelly Betts' channel.
Yep.
And I think for anybody interested, if you watch that interview, I think it kind of sums up what the weekend must have been like. It was.
Yeah, they filmed that in the front porch of the Airbnb that we were renting that night.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And did you know any of these guys beforehand, or was it like your first time meeting them all?
It was the first time meeting them in person, but I had followed King of the Ronalds for probably about a year, maybe, before that, from just interacting with them on Facebook. So I was very familiar with how they were going to be and what a crazy weekend we were in store, because Cannell is one of my favorite people on earth. If you ever get a chance to go to a battle rap event with Cannell, make sure you take that opportunity. You are in for one of the funnest weekends of your life anytime you're with Cannell. So shout out him and shout out Mackenzie as well. Mackenzie's really, really good guy. He actually came over 2 years later and stayed at my house for about 4 weeks, which was pretty funny in itself too.
Nice. Yeah, man. I remember Mackenzie coming over and battling on ECCM as well. So that was fun to see. But I did get to spend pretty much an entire event with Cannell last year. Don't Flop did an event in Cardiff where I live, so he headlined that event, and I spent most of the day with him, which was good fun. So I definitely agree there. But is there did you struggle when you first met them? Because in all fairness, the 4 guys that came over, it is like the biggest, I don't even know how to explain it. The 4 accents together are like it sums up every accent in the UK pretty much. Like they're all completely different. Was it a struggle to understand at first?
A little bit. Mackenzie was probably the hardest, but for me, it was really cool because I was always the one with a different accent, because I was the only one coming from the East Coast going to the Midwest. So I was the one who always stuck out with the accent. They'd be like, oh, say car, say, Harvard and all this stupid shit. So having them there was really, it kind of made me feel a little bit better. Mackenzie was probably the hardest one to understand at first.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I
sure.
can understand that. I think there's people in the UK that struggle with like a Scottish accent sometimes, so I can appreciate that. But
and he gets very fast and loose with when he starts talking, especially as he gets to know you and he gets more comfortable. So he starts talking very fast. So I think that has a little bit of a part to play in it as well.
Definitely, man. No, and it's cool that those guys got to come over and do that event, though. The event as a whole just looked amazing.
Incredible. It was such an incredible event. And the funniest part is Mickey was sleeping on a couch in the club for probably most of the night.
Okay.
If you know Mickey, that's classic Mickey. He obviously very different time. The time adjustment is a lot harder for them coming over here than it is for us going over there, because the hours are so different. I think over here, we're behind you guys, so we can kind of make up for it a little bit. But he had a lot of trouble at the airports too. So he was pretty jet lagged, so he slept most of the event, which was hilarious.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever with Mickey, though, to be fair
No.
to him. But no, that's awesome, man. And is there, have you got any plans to head over for an event in the UK at any point?
Yeah, so I can't do that. They have one that's supposed to be going off in September, I believe, is what
Yeah,
they announced. A little too soon for me. We just had a baby. It was like 1.5, so I'm not ready to leave the country without the baby yet. But we're hoping the next event after that, because I've been dying to battle Blunt Ted. That's always been something we've always talked about, and that was going to be on one of the next like King of the Ronald No Coast events. So definitely need to make my way out there and make sure that happens.
nice, man. No, it's interesting to hear that Blunt Ted's the one that you want, kind of thing. Do you know what? I don't think he's on Battle Rap anymore, man.
No, he isn't, but we've talked about it that if I make my way over there, he'll definitely take the battle.
Okay, that's good to hear.
We always kind of like fake antagonized each other on the groups, and everyone always thought we really had like these problems, like, oh, they don't like each other, they always butt heads, and we just kind of laugh it off, like, people just don't understand that was our relationship at that point.
That's fair enough, and it'd be great to see you over here. I'm so excited for No Coast UK division to get started, man, because King of the Ronalds was just it was so ahead of its time and so left field that I just
Uh,
loved it. So
it really was. It really was. And I think people are going to be in for quite the surprise when they start seeing what's going to happen with it too. It's going to be incredible. It is.
I
It's
can
going to be
imagine.
can't miss stuff.
Yeah, I did. I had a brief chat with Bowski a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately my internet cut out halfway through, so we still need to finish that podcast off. But yeah, I know there's big plans in the works, and I'm really looking forward to it, man. That'll be great fun. But in terms of your battles so far, then, so what would you say is your favourite battle that you've been a part of?
My favorite battle that I've ever been a part of was probably my most recent one that I did, which was on ECCM. We did a 5-man Royal Rumble. It
Yeah,
was it was myself, the champion of the league, Beretta Broke, the reigning rookie of the year from the league, Manny Uwap, another local roster battle at Nomad, and a 4-1-3 battle at Bacon. And what happened was we were just doing a small little card. We had a couple battles that had got canceled from our last card, so we wanted to kind of make up for it. And it was just put together very late, and then a couple battles dropped off, and we're looking at the fact of having 3 battles. So it's like, we can't really have that be an event. So I was like, you know what? It was 2 days before. I'm like, who wants to do a Royal Rumble? And I'm not the type of person to like ask people if I'm not willing to do it myself. So I said, all right, let's do a 5-man Rumble, and I'll be a part of it. I hadn't really battled a lot recently. I had one battle versus CJA before that, and
yeah.
I hadn't battled in like 2.5 years. So it was like, hey, I'll come back and I'll do it again. And we put it together very last minute, and most of us didn't even really write most of the material and just went out there and had a good time. And it was a really fun battle to be a part of.
Nice, nice, man. That's it's not dropped on YouTube yet, is that right?
No, that one has dropped. It's somewhat recent. So,
Okay, I don't
but
think
you
I've
could,
seen that one.
yeah, you could check it out. It's titled ECCM Royal Rumble, and that was a, like I said, fun little battle. We each did like a minute and a half, 2 minutes worth of material, and kind of just wanted to give the people a little more entertainment than doing 3 battle event, and kind of make it worth their money and have some fun. And we really got the crowd involved, and it was awesome. Definitely check that out if you got a few free minutes.
Yeah, I will. I love things like that, like freestyle Royal Rumbles and stuff. I think it's it can bring out some of the funniest moments in battle rap, man. And like, I don't know if you've ever seen I'm pretty sure it's on the Ruin Your Day channel, where Laugh and Stalk and E Farrell battle Carter Deems and Essam in a hotel room, and it's
Yep. Yep, I saw that one.
It's probably one of my favourite battles ever, just because it had me in stitches the whole way through, and just on the spot moments like that can be perfect for battle events as well. So I'll definitely check that out after this. But do you have a least favourite battle that you were a part of?
Probably the chinchilla battle. If
Okay.
I had to guess, like I said, it was a crazy weekend, and I had some difficulties with my flight home, which I found out the day before. It actually got canceled, and I had a non-refundable ticket. And I just put a lot of money into like helping with the event. We helped sponsor the event and help put up a bunch of the rappers. So it was a really, really stressful time for me. And so about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before the battle, I was really, really on edge. And one of the battlers gave me an Ativan, and I had never taken anything like that. And all of a sudden, you can see like when it goes to introduce myself, my eyes get real wide open, and I'm like, I'm Bill Blaze. What am I doing here? So it was pretty difficult to get through, but it was still fun at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
I look at everything as a learning experience. So like even in my worst battle, I still watch it and say like, all right, I did this all right, but I could work on this, I could work on this, and I could work on that.
No, I understand that, man. And
And it's an
even
escape.
still, I
Battle rap
don't
is an
think it's a
escape.
bad battle at all. So yeah, no, definitely, man. Yeah, I completely agree. But I mean, even still, I don't think the chinchilla battle's a bad battle at all. So
No, it's
it's
definitely still watchable, and he did really good. That was probably his best performance of his career. So like I always feel bad because when I talk to him, I'm like, hey man, sorry I messed up your battle like that. Like he did really good, and so he still needs to get his shine. And I was never one of those guys like, hey, if it's a really one-sided battle, you shouldn't drop it. I think every battle that happens should drop. Everybody should be able to see what happened or what didn't happen when it's supposed to come out.
no, definitely, I completely agree, man. And you've been in a part of some really fun battles to watch though, like the Orlando Coleridge battle, which was No Coast. Was that Snow
Yeah,
Coast 3?
that was Snow Coast 3, I believe. Yeah, that was the event after. That was the Snow Coast after the King of the Ronald Snow Coast.
Right. Okay. Nice. And then the Roe battle I liked as well. Roe's someone that I'm quite a big fan of lately too. I've only kind of watched him a couple of times, and one of those times was against you previously. So he's is on a bit of a tear now. But is there any? I know Blunt Ted's on your list, but is there anyone else that you'd like to battle at some point?
I mean, not really. I'm not picky. Like anytime I've ever been booked, it's pretty much just they ask me if I want to battle. I say yes, let's do it, and you tell me who it is, and I'll write for it. I really don't. I don't think that I'm good enough to be one of those guys where it's like, oh, he's not worth my time. He's not worth my time. If someone wants a battle, it's battle. Let's have fun. Let's do it. Let's give the people what they want. So I don't really have that big of a hit list. I have a battle scheduled coming up on No Coast New England, which is going to be against Nomad, who's a good kid on the roster. I think he deserves a look, so that's going to be a fun one. And I'll probably do one or two more this year. Try to keep it to like 2 or 3 a year, but I took a couple of years off and missed it, so I'm gonna attempt to do as many as I can in the upcoming future. But Blunt Head would probably be the only one I really want to do.
Fair enough, and it's a good attitude to have as well. I always like hearing that people you're not too bothered about the opponent in that sense. It's just fun to be involved, kind of thing. I love that. But is there so I know everything's a little bit up in the air with the current situation in the world now, but what's the plan for the rest of the year for No Coast New England then? Is it going to be kind of regular events or like one every few months, or how do you guys plan to run things?
So when we did ECCM battles, we did them fairly regularly. Did them like once every 2 months. We'll probably stick to the same schedule, but we want to get more involved with the other No Coast divisions. We're talking about basically 8 or 10 of us are going to Chicago for like a divisional event where it's going to be just different division matchups are pitted against each other. I have 2 booked cards that as soon as we can actually safely have events, we'll have events. So I think at the beginning of this, you're going to see a lot more of us than you normally would, but then we'll kind of drop back to like a once every 2 months type of schedule. I think it works better. Everyone has lives. Everyone has families. No one really wants to be thinking about battle rap 24/7. So I think that schedule really works for us.
Yeah, no, it's a good plan, man. I like that. And I mean, the idea of like the event in Chicago where people from certain divisions will match up against each other, I like that a lot as well. That's a great idea. I look forward to seeing that. But have you got like a city that you enjoy battling in the most then, or would it just be your local events are your favorites?
I really like doing the local stuff because a lot of people who are casual to not really involved in battle rap, who just come out to support their friends and stuff like that, they're involved. But besides that, it would probably be Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago's a lot of fun. It's a really nice city. Expensive, but it's worth the time out there. My favorite place to visit through battle rap would be Minnesota. I can't seem to have a good battle there anytime I go to battle there, but I always have a great time with the people there. So that would probably be my favorite place to visit through battle rap.
Nice.
It's
Okay,
beautiful out there. Beautiful. One of the cleanest cities I've ever been to in my life, Minneapolis, especially coming from Boston.
Yeah, I've been speaking with Breakneck about getting him on the show as well, and I mentioned to him that I've never actually been to the States before, but I went backpacking through Europe a couple of years ago and met a couple from just outside Minneapolis, and they've now opened like a big brewery and like bar and stuff. So I'm hoping to get over and visit him at some point. I've heard that the beers that he's making are pretty good as well, so that'll be good fun. But it's, is there any other leagues that you'd be interested in battling on, like iBattle or anything like that at all?
I mean, really, I'd battle wherever anybody wanted to see me, but I think now I'm at the point where I'm gonna do most of my stuff on No Coast, besides the other local leagues like 413, NBA, Premier, them type of guys. Uh, Again, I just in the past couple of years got married, had a baby, so if I'm going to do any type of travel, and I want to make sure it's to go see the people that I've had long relationships with and really want to see. So if I'm going to take a time to take a 3 or 4 day period of my life out there, I want to make sure I'm going somewhere where I'm with people I want to be with. So it's pretty much going to be mostly no coast battles for me here on out, unless I can get like a New England GZ at some point. But that's, again, not something I'm really looking towards. I'd rather be able to get the guys on my roster in a better position to elevate their battle career than myself personally.
That makes sense. No, I appreciate that, man. And like for me, like, because I've not been to America, obviously I appreciate that it's a giant country. Don't get me wrong, but like, how long would it take? Say you were to do a battle on iBattle, how long would it take you to get over to New York from where you're based?
It's about a 5.5 hour drive.
Okay.
So it's not terrible.
It's bad enough though, isn't it? 5.5
Yeah.
hours is it's a long time to be driving or whatever. So I can appreciate
exactly.
that. But
Exactly. But we have guys who go out there regularly and they love it and they say it's one of their best places to go and battle. Lex does a really good job out there. He's a really good matchmaker. He takes care of the guys who go out there and battle, and they all have a good time. So obviously, if something like that was on the table and I could make it work, yeah, I would make it work. But right now, my priorities are more on, like I said, building up my league, spending time with my family, and visiting people I haven't been able to see in a long time.
no, that makes sense, man. I like that. But In terms of like your like events that are coming up, say it might be a bit easier for yourself being a promoter too, but I've been asking people if they were promoting an event that they had kind of unlimited funds for, and they could book absolutely anybody they wanted for this one event, who would you be putting on the card? And like, is there any matchups that you desperately want to see?
I think really if I could do that, I'd want to give the guys on my roster a chance to be able to battle in their biggest battle that they could do. So
Yeah,
really you would see kind of left side would be all no coast New England or no coast other division guys, and the right side would be guys like Real Deal. Real Deal would be the first person I asked to be on any card if I had unlimited funds. He's a really good friend of mine, great person, always comes through with a great performance. He's A1 in my book. He would be the first phone call I would make. But I'd like to see, Chilla Jones, Real Deal, Mad Flex would be another one I'd like to book. Big K. Big K is probably my favorite battle rapper personally. So he'd definitely be someone I'd want to see on there. But it would
nice.
probably be, against my personal guys, because I'd like to be able to say, hey, I had the chance to do whatever I wanted, and what I wanted to do was be able to give you this career opportunity. If you're ready for it, let's do it.
Nice. Yeah, man, I definitely agree with Real Deal being one of the first people you reach out to as well. Like, the guy is just the utmost professional person in battle rap, in my opinion, and he's always great fun to talk to as well. So I'm a giant Real Deal fan too, so I completely understand that. But
Yeah,
is
even better
there?
person too. Even better person.
Yeah,
He's a great guy all around.
no, definitely, man. Yeah, I got to chat to him for quite a while at an event in the UK a couple of years ago and stuff, and yeah, just a really cool guy, man. But in terms of like your division of No Coast New England now, then, so for UK listeners that might not be aware, is there any battlers in particular that you suggest that people should check out?
Yeah, the first one would be CJA. He's really making a name for himself on the King of the Dot GZ
He is, yeah.
divisions. He is a great watch. He very charismatic. His performance is always incredible. His delivery is incredible. He's really one of my favorites to watch regardless of tier, because he puts the same amount of effort into every single battle he does. So he would be someone that I would definitely suggest to check out. Another one would be the champion of our league, Beretta Broke. He's kind of more of a laid back, not so much in your face type of battler where you really have to listen and catch everything that he says. Really good guy, but he's a great battler as well. And probably the third one would probably be DK. He's a guy who started with us, and he's actually only battled with us so far. He doesn't want to be that guy who battles 8, 10, 12 times a year. He only wants to do a few of them, but he improves so much in every battle. And his performance is another one that's just like, it's electric seeing him perform live. They would probably be the three guys that I would recommend most. But I mean, anytime you're going to watch an ECCM battle, you're guaranteed to have a good time, because I feel like what our goal is to make sure that you can feel the energy that we bring to the room and have good entertainment at the same time.
No, definitely, man. And I'm a fan of all the guys that you mentioned. You know, Beretta Broke's great. He's going to be coming on the show in the next few weeks too. CJA2 is also going to be coming on the show, and yeah, I've become a huge fan of his. Like I became aware of him through yourselves, and he's getting big very quickly, isn't he? Like, obviously the Daily Spice and things like that have helped along the way, but he's a problem. Like, I can see him getting on like King of the Dot main cards within the year and stuff like that. He's a really talented battler. So if anyone hasn't checked him out, definitely do so. But For yourself, like the final battle rap related question really is, what would you say is the best battle that you've ever seen live?
Best battle I've ever seen live would probably be. That's a tough question. I'm gonna go non-mainstream here, and I'm gonna say Canelo versus Billy Shakes.
Okay. Yeah, I like that battle a lot.
We had so much fun during that event and that battle. It was just the energy was ridiculous in the room, and we had such a good time during it. So that would probably be like my non-mainstream favorite battle to watch. If I had to go like top guys, I would probably just say the excitement because it was a surprise battle at a massacre, seeing Hall of the Dawn versus Disaster.
Oh,
The battle,
nice.
the
Yeah.
battle itself might not be my favorite battle, but being in the room, not knowing what was about to happen, and then having them announce it, that was like one of the best battle rap experiences I could say. And that was actually 2 nights after the first ECCM event we ever had. So we went down there with like 20 people. It was myself, Canel, Shake, Breakneck, a bunch of the ECCM guys. So it was a real big community of all of us together. We went down there with like 3 cars. It was a great time.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's amazing that you got to see that, especially with it being a surprise as well.
Exactly.
That's incredible. But on the subject of the Canal Billy Shakes match, like where actually was that? It looks like it's in some form of like basement of someone's house or something.
It was in a local rapper's basement.
Right, nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
quite
we
cool.
had uh an issue with the venue. It was supposed to be a 2-day event, and the second day the venue canceled pretty late on him, so he was scrambling trying to figure out what we were going to do, and someone offered up their basement. And I think it really set the vibe for that day. There was a lot of fun battles that happened in that basement.
No, definitely, man. Yeah, it looks good fun there, but I'm glad that they managed to get that sorted on the day as well, because I can't imagine
Yeah.
the stress that they go through with last minute cancellations and stuff. But it looked like
Oh
a
yeah.
fun atmosphere anyway, so that was great to see. But in terms of battle rap questions, that's pretty much it, man. I've been asking a few sort of music related questions and then finishing off with some really random ones. But do you make music as well?
I make music, but I don't release it. Pretty much, I just do it for myself. I haven't really made music in like the past 3 years, but
Right.
I've done some stuff with Orlando Coolidge and a lot of the stuff I've done is mostly with like local guys, but not something really I put a lot of my energy into.
Okay.
Usually, what happens is I get a beat, I write to a beat, record my verse, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't like this one so much. Let's go on to the next one, and it kind of just cycles like that.
That's fair enough, man. But it's it's a difficult question, and I know it's subjective. It kind of changes all the time. But if you had to pick your 3 all-time favorite albums, what would you go with?
Probably. Oh wow, that is a super tough one. I would say one of them has got to be Big L, the Big Picture.
Yeah,
That that like that and Lifestyles were 2 of my favorite albums of all time, especially like knowing the circumstances of Big L and everything that happened. So always gonna make sure I got a Big L album up there. That's
nice.
definitely probably my number one. Wow, that really is such a tough question. You could say probably Marshall Mathers LP would probably be up there.
Nice.
And for the third one, see, I don't even know. It's hard putting 2 of them up there with that. Probably say Chronic would probably be the third one.
Okay. No, I like that. And
It Was Written by Nas. Those were, probably my favorite ones.
that's good. That's good. Good list, man. And Chronic and anything by Big Al has never actually come up with anyone else. So it's good to get some new answers there.
Yeah.
But what would you say is the best live act that you've ever seen in terms of like gigs that you've attended?
I don't know if it was the best, but the most fun I've ever had was actually at a Madish Yahoo concert,
Okay.
surprisingly enough. I'm into all different types of music, and that one was something that was kind of like spur of the moment. He was doing a local show. I was like, hey, let's go see Madish Yahoo, and he really put on a great show. They had an opening band called Moon Taxi, who I know a lot of people haven't really heard of. They do kind of like electronic rock, and
Okay.
they were incredible to see in person. It was amazing. They had a keyboard set up with a drummer, and they did like a 25-minute back and forth solo, and it was just insane to see. Insane.
Nice,
I
man.
like going. I like kind of going off-brand with stuff like that. So
Yeah,
that
no, I like
that
that
would definitely
answer.
be
And
that would be my answer right there.
I'm gonna have to check that band out. I've not listened to them before. Mattis Yahoo, I'm aware of, though. He's like
Yeah,
the
everyone's heard of Madish Yahoo, and it was right around the time he had really just started coming up, and he had, I think he had like 2 or 3 charted songs at the time, and that was about it. It was a really small, like intimate show. There was probably like 100 people there. I like going to like smaller shows like that.
nice man. No, that sounds really good. And is there any sort of lesser known musicians that or artists that you're really into right now that we might not be aware of over here?
I like a lot of like the local mass rappers. Like Easy Money is one of my favorite. I know a lot of people wouldn't really know him. Check him out. Keys to the City was one of the first songs I heard by him. Uh, Crumb Snatcher, Terminology. I really, really like local hip hop scene. That's really where I spend a lot of my time into.
Nice. No, I can understand that.
But I
And
did recently just get into Pop Smoke, R.I.P. Pop Smoke. He made some really good music.
yeah, I've
Never
never
really heard of
really,
him.
nor me actually, I've never really sat down and listened to any of his stuff, but I'm gonna check it out. But Terminology is someone I'm very aware of. Like I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of his. So
Oh, if you're a hip hop fan, like a deep hip hop head, you've definitely heard of Terminology for
oh,
sure.
definitely. I think so. I've been collecting vinyl records for years now, and I think the first hip hop vinyl that I ever bought was Terminology. Watch How It Goes Down on like just a single.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and I found it at this random car boot sale in like the countryside in the middle of like central England. So it was just a massive find at the time. It was a bit bizarre, but I was over the
Hey,
moon to have found it, and I've still got
hip
it to
hop
this
lives
day. So
everywhere. Hip hop lives
definitely,
everywhere.
yeah, man. But yeah, I mean to finish off then, man, the random questions. But are you a sports fan?
Huge sports fan. Huge sports fan. I watch everything pretty much.
Nice. And who are the teams that you follow?
For the major American sports, it's all the local guys. Big New England Patriots fan, Boston Celtics fan, Red Sox, Bruins, and the surprising one is I'm a Hammers fan, West Ham.
Okay. How did that happen?
So they played Premier League matchups on a local TV station throughout like my whole childhood, and the first match I saw, I forget who they were playing, but it was the Rio Ferdinand days.
Okay. Nice.
So I've been a huge West Ham fan ever since. It seemed like they had the most games that we could watch on the local station every Saturday morning. For us, it's I get up 6 a.m. and watch Premier League on Saturdays.
Nice, man. I like it. And
Been,
yeah,
been a tough go of it recently, but I stick with them.
it's a good call. No, I like it, man. And I'm a Liverpool fan personally, so it's everything's a bit up in the air for us at the moment. But
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough year to sit around and wait.
yeah, definitely. But I've in terms of American sports, like again, they've never really been super accessible over here. But I've recently, like, as of the season that's not long ended, I've become like a massive NFL fan.
Yep.
So over here with the football, we'll have match of the day, which is on at like 10 o'clock on a Saturday evening.
Yep.
It's like all the highlights from the Premier League games. And as of the last season, straight after match of the day, they now have the NFL show.
Yep.
So I kind of just started watching that the one night and got really into it. But I'm afraid to say that the team that I've kind of gone with is the Chicago Bears.
No, see, like, the worst thing you could have said was you're a Jets fan to someone
Okay.
in New England. That's the worst thing you could have said. So being a Bears fan, I can respect it. I can respect that.
Nice.
They got
I
to do
was
something with their quarterback situation, but, you know, I can respect a Bears fan.
I was leaning towards the Chiefs just because I thought Patrick Mahomes, being a brand new fan, was the best player that I'd seen, but I didn't want to be a glory supporter, so I went with the Bears.
No, he's an incredible talent. So even if you were to say that, that just shows that, like, you're a fan of what he does, and he's one of those type of once in a generational athletes that comes around in the NFL. He's a great quarterback and very fun to watch. Very fun.
Yeah, he is extremely good to watch. Like the last, I'd say the last 20 or so minutes of the Super Bowl, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was just in the zone, hitting everything. It was great to watch for sure. Mahomes is a great
Definitely.
quarterback, and the fact that he's young and we have so many more years of it, I think that's the most exciting part about Mahomes.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's a great player, but if you could pick anywhere in the world for your next like holiday or your next trip, where would be top of your list of where you want to go?
For me, it would probably be Poland.
Okay, nice.
So I do have some Polish heritage, but I'm huge into history, and like World War II is really one of the biggest things that I'm into. So I'd like to go visit Auschwitz and a few places like that. I really want to do like the whole European World War II tour eventually, but I think I would start in Poland.
Yeah, nice man. Poland's great as well. It's super cheap. Everybody's really friendly, and it's a great place to go, man. That's a good choice. But where's your favorite place that you've been so far?
I've actually only been to Canada besides being out of America, so probably my favorite place that I've traveled to has probably been Florida.
Okay.
Beautiful weather. I
Yeah.
mean, that's really sums it up right there. The weather is just amazing, especially being in the northeast of America where we have the brutal winters. If you can get away during the winter to go down to Florida, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, man. I can appreciate that. And the final question, this one has it's brought up some absolutely terrible answers, to be honest. But you can pick one sweet and one savory, but what are the go-to snack or the go-to munches?
It would probably be like hands down it's Reese's for me. That's the best.
Like
Nothing
the
beats the
peanut
peanut butter
butter.
cup.
Yeah,
Peanut butter cup. Yep.
nice.
Nothing beats a peanut butter cup.
I'm with you there. I'm a big fan as well. It's a good choice.
To me, that's number one. And if that's not your number one answer, I guess I'll respect it, but I probably shouldn't.
No, I like that, man. And what about savory go-to snack?
That's a tough one. I don't know. If I had the choice, I'd just have two Reese's, man. Like,
That's fair
what?
enough.
Don't even bother. Just give me two of what I really, really know I like.
No, I rate that. I like that a lot. Of I've got some next to me now, so it's definitely a good choice, man. But
There you go.
no, apart from that, though, Bill Bays, it's been amazing to have you on the show, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on. I know you're super busy and stuff, so thank you very much. But is there, apart from like some links to, No Coast New England, like Facebook pages and Twitter pages and stuff, is there anything else that you wanted like in the description of the video when it was released?
No, it'd just be besides the Facebook groups and pages, the YouTube link to No Coast. And if you could give a special RIP shout out to White Shadow, he helped me start all this out, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Definitely, man. No, that's no problem at all. I'll get that sorted for you. But yeah, again, thank you for taking the time to come on, man. And I hope you and the family stay safe over there.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a blast.
No worries, man. Hopefully get you on again sometime in the future.
Definitely. We could definitely do that.
Great stuff. But yeah, thanks again, man, and take care.
Hey, anytime. Take it easy.